Hey there, welcome back. I hope everybody's doing good out there today. Today I have a patron shout out request for Robert Pretorius. Robert is an amazing supporter of mine. He's been with my channel almost from the very beginning. I really can't thank you enough for all the support you've given me, Robert. Really does, absolutely means the world. Thank you so much. Robert is really good at finding some obscure stuff for me to listen to, and it usually, I've enjoyed everything he's ever shown me, and some of it's pretty far out there, and he's so good at finding really unusual stuff, and I'm so glad he does. He's the one that pushes my channel as far to the outside as is humanly possible, and I want to thank him for it. It's so good. Today is, I think, is no different. The band I'm going to be reacting to, the name clicks in my brain, but I can't place it. I don't think I've ever heard them before, but I've had to have heard the name before because there's just this familiar little itch with the name. It's going to be Bela, Fleck, and the Flecktones with performing with the Boston Pops Orchestra. And this is actually going to be two songs. It's two shorter songs, as in one performance. It's the names. The first name of the name of the first song is unusual, UFO, TOFU, and the second song is called The Chase. Really interested in this. This is a very interesting looking band. The main guy, Bela Fleck, plays banjo. But in some of the pictures, when I was looking for pictures of the band, there were actually, most of the time there's been 4 members, but during this time period there were only 3. They have a 4th member that was with the band from the beginning up until about 3 years before this performance, and then rejoined the band about 15 years ago. The rest of the band has been there from the very beginning. You've got Bela on banjo, Victor Wooten, which that name sounds super familiar. I feel like I'm supposed to know that name, and I again, same with the overall band name. Victor Wooten sounds so familiar, but he's the bass player, and then Roy Wooten, or Future Man is his nickname, plays the drums, but he plays specifically a drumitar, which is a custom strap-on drum thing. I haven't actually seen a picture of it, so I don't know what it looks like, but it sounds very interesting, and I'm very curious to see how it works and what he does with it. I did want to say that the conductor of the Boston Pops in this performance is Keith Lockhart. So I just wanted to give, I wish I could give credit to all the musicians. I'm a big fan of giving credit to any musician that's involved, but I can't do that right now, obviously. But really interested in this because Robert never steers me astray, even if it's a little outside my comfort zone. I still have enjoyed everything he's had me listen to, so I cannot wait to hear this. This is going to be fantastic. So Robert, thank you so much. You're an absolute rock star. I really appreciate your support. It means everything. So let's go ahead and switch on over. It was hard finding a picture of just the 3 members that are in the band at this time. This was in 1996. I would have been 23-ish or so. And it's also the quality of the audio is probably going to be great, but the video is a little bit iffy because it was the mid-90s. VHS, more than likely. You can see it was recorded probably off of a TV. But this is, I'm excited for this. And also, Bela's banjo. It's like a regular banjo, but it's got a more traditional, electric guitar, case around it or covering of it, which is interesting. I'm really excited for this. So this is a patron shout out request for Robert Pretorius of Bela Fleck and the Flecktones, with the Boston Pops, with the songs UFO, TOFU, and The Chase.
Gonna play something else for us now? Well, that's great.
It's such an interesting instrument. Bass line. Okay, this is interesting. I've always the banjo has always fascinated me. It's not it's not an instrument that I'm used to hearing or that I normally hear in my music and stuff. I've always been curious why the low string stops here, and then the other four strings go all the way to the normal guitar style headstock. Why is the fifth string always only goes a little over halfway up the neck? I've always been curious about that. I've only ever known one person that played the banjo, and I didn't really talk to her much about the banjo because it wasn't much of the subject didn't really come up very often. But I also like the fact that the banjo's body is basically a drum. It's always, it's the skin of the body is always reminding me of a drum. I don't know if it's that way on purpose or it has to be that way or what's going on with it, but it's such an interesting instrument. Now that I live in Tennessee, it's much more common to hear banjo music, around here, but as opposed to where I grew up, where it wasn't very common. But it's such an interesting instrument. And Bela's killing it. I mean, and also a banjo is generally played with all of your fingers, whereas a regular guitar is usually done with a pick. A banjo usually they have picks that fit on the tips of your fingers like rings, and that way you can just pick the banjo. He's killing it. The bass player, or let's talk about this first. The drummer Roy. This is it's hard to see because like I said, the video is so unusual. This is such an interesting setup. It's like he took apart a drum pad or a drum machine and put it back together with his own setup. I don't know what all this stuff is. These are like pedals, almost like a piano pedal. Each one of these buttons seems to be like he's hitting he's like the button he's hitting over here is like the snare. He's doing something over here with his fingers, and there's a bass drum, there's cymbal sounds, and I think it's all coming from him. The orchestra hasn't really joined in. I don't think any of the orchestra percussion's doing anything. I think it's all him. And I just have no concept of what this instrument or how to play it or what it's doing. I know he's hitting up here and he's hitting down here with just finger taps, not even he's not hitting hard. He's just just tapping, and it's getting the drum sounds. And I don't know what goes on up the neck. I'm going to call it a neck, even though it's not a guitar. So fascinating and very, very, very interesting. And then I can't find. I'd like to get a close up of Victor on the bass. No, there he is. Victor is doing some really cool stuff on that bass. His bass playing is fantastic. And it's he's doing counter melodies to the banjo. which is very interesting because a banjo is a very busy instrument. It's always got something that you don't really strum and let a banjo ring. You're constantly playing it, and he's doing this counter melody to it. It was very cool. Really enjoying this. It's so far outside of my normal, what I listen to or my comfort zone, but I love watching and listening to very skilled musicians do their thing. It's so good. Oh, now Victor's matching Bela. That's fast. Okay, the orchestra is playing a little bit. Now Victor has the main melody. Sorry about that. I'm actually going to back that up. I don't know. That stupid alert. I've got an antivirus on my computer, but for some reason that one will not go away. It's constantly telling me to uninstall it. But anyways, sorry about that. Let me get rid of it. Sorry. Pain in my ass. But anyways, let's back it up a little bit. The fact that Victor's over here doing the main melody, or first he was matching Bela with the speed of what was going on, and again, the banjo is such a fast, busy instrument. The fact that he was matching that with his bass, I just realized it's a yin-yang bass, which is very cool looking. The fact that he was matching that speed on the bass was killer. So good. The build-up as instruments are added. Little funky bass in there. Okay, I just occurred to me. I'm like, oh, there's supposed to be two songs. This is the second. The first song was just them, and then the Boston Pops Orchestra came in for the second song, which is The Chase, and I just got The Chase. It's Bela and Victor are chasing each other up and down the necks of their instruments. Very cool, because the stuff that Victor's doing. I'm sorry, I know Bela's is the man. He's the leader of the band, but I've been so fascinated with everything Victor's been doing. He's such an incredible bass player. Unbelievable. And then Bela is just killing it on the banjo. Again, not an instrument I know that much about. I just know it's always a very busy instrument. And I would love, after I finish recording this, I'm going to go see if I can find any videos on Roy's drumitar specifically, where they show it, what he's doing, and maybe an explanation of what exactly is going on with it, because I'm so fascinated, because I can't. The audio in this, unfortunately, is a little low. The quality of the audio is fine, but it's a little low. It's a little quiet. But I want to know more about the drumitar. It looks interesting, and the concept is interesting, but I don't know anything about it, and I can't. With the quality of the video, it's hard to see what he's doing. But I'm gonna have to look that up. It's very interesting, and what these two are doing is fantastic, and what he specifically is doing is just killer. So good. He's playing that bass so fast. That was impressive. That was very impressive. As always, I'm going to let them play out. If they talk at all, and they deserve all that praise. That was the end of the show. Very cool. Very, very cool. Okay, so that was patron shout request for Robert Pretorius of Bela, Fleck, and the Flecktones with the Boston Pops Orchestra with their songs UFO, TOFU, and The Chase. That was interesting. Very, very interesting. The talent level is off the scale. It's so good. A good banjo player is very it impresses me so much, because like I said, it's such a busy instrument. There's a lot going on, and there's no time to kind of rest or if you make a mistake, it's hard to you don't have any space in there to take a breath. Okay, I'm back into it. It's constant, always going, very, very, very intense. Victor on the bass was, to me, he was the star of the show. What he was doing on that bass, fantastic. Roy, again, I wish I could see more of what he was doing, because that instrument is very interesting to me. I'm very curious on how it works, what he did, how he built it, how he made it. What was the idea behind it? Why he's decided I didn't want to just sit behind a drum kit. I wanted to be able to be up and moving around and still play. Very interesting. Of course, the Boston Pops has always been one of the greatest orchestras around ever. That's that's such a classic, all-time, orchestra. If you know anything, if you've ever heard of an orchestra, you've heard of the Boston Pops, just as much as if you've heard of the Philharmonics and stuff. The Boston Pops is a very important orchestra. That was fantastic. Really, really enjoyed that. Robert, again, thank you. I really enjoy that you push me out of my comfort zone. It's always fun, always interesting, and thank you for all the support you've given me over the last couple of years. It's been so good. So thank you very much. If you guys like this video, give it a like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will talk to you next time.